Hello everyone, Odin A with Oregon Weather Watch. Today we are going to be doing the January weather forecast. Currently starting out, taking a look at the radar, you can see some scattered snow showers over the mountains and Cascades, but obviously nothing really much in the valleys as of right now. Let's get right into the video. Okay, so we are looking currently at the GFS MSLP anomaly. So this is basically telling you about the pressure and all that. So this will tell you if there is going to be a ridge of high pressure or a ridge of low pressure throughout the month of January. This is taking a look at ensembles. So this is not the global model. Ensembles are way better at telling you this type of stuff. So let's get right into the model here and let's see what it can see. You can see it's saying currently, of course, we got that below average troughing. We've got a pressure area over here. Let's go ahead and push that into the future here. You can see that troughing pattern kind of stays with us throughout mid January, but you can see here that the GFS does have a ridge gradient kind of push its way through, and this does last most of mid January here. So what this is going to do basically is going to bring us just what we are kind of seeing concurrently as of January 5th of just sunny skies, probably very cold low temperatures, and some frost concerns here. And as we go ahead and continue to push this through, you can just see this ridge continues to build. You can see another ridge continuing to build there in mid-January as well. But then as we go ahead and push it towards the end of the model run, you can see this kind of a cool ridge type pattern here. And you can see this cold air kind of bubble up and try and head north by the end of the model, but it doesn't really do that. We still got ridging. We got like this little opening right here. That's the jet stream. So yeah, it's going to be a pretty warm January according to the GFS. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the EPS anomaly. You can see right now we've got a lot of below average. Still got that low pressure gradient on the EPS. Same thing. EPS is the same thing as the GFS anomaly. Let's go ahead and push this forward here. You can see it has a little bit of a more cold-ish January here. As we go ahead and push it into mid-January, you got that ridge. So it is so we got model agreement between GFS and EPS between this ridging here. So there is definitely going to be some form, and I'm not saying this as like a complete prediction, like this is set in stone, but this is a hint at what we are probably going to get for mid-January, and it is looking quite above average. Let's go ahead and push this through. You can see that ridge is lasting a little bit longer on the or on the EPS than it did on the GEFS. You can see the model bottoms out here with a lot of ridging, but then you got that cold air push kind of a little bit towards the end of the model run, and towards the end of the month. So again, this isn't a set in stone forecast. Never really want to put total trust into the models, but yeah, this is just kind of what you can expect for like ridging and cold air, and it does not look like much cold air will make it into the month until the end of the month. So yeah, get ready for some above average temperatures and some cold nights. And now I do just want to take a look at the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook issued by the Climate Prediction Center, and we've got a above average temperature gradient for most of Oregon here. You can see just a little bit of southern Oregon there in the second shade of above average there. So, some warm temperatures. It might feel like mid late fall for a little bit of time here in Oregon. Moving on to the precipitation, this is really concerning, especially for the snowpack. but yeah, really concerning for the snowpack here. You can see a lot of below average precipitation, 8 to 14 day. You got that third shade issued here, and this does include most of Oregon. You can see the Cascades are in it. You can see most of the Blue Mountains and all that in central and eastern Oregon are in that. So yeah, just a very not good situation for the snowpack in Oregon. Alrighty, so this is the drought monitor here, and I just want to go over this because obviously all of the stuff we have taken a look at so far is going to affect the drought in some way, shape, or form. We still have a D2 moderate drought or severe drought in effect for eastern Oregon and several areas still in a D1 drought. So yeah, we will definitely need to pay attention to that and see how this ridging or this above average temperatures really affects our drought situation here. You can see just a lot of D0 expanding across much of Oregon here. So yeah, we will definitely need to pay attention to this a lot within the coming next couple weeks. And then once again, just taking a look at these snowpacks here, you can see a lot of just below average here. The red does indicate below average snow equivalent or snow water equivalent. So basically, just snowpack averages here. You can just a lot of red up and down the Cascades. Almost no accumulation here, or almost no good snowpack accumulation here for most of the Cascades. That is not a good look, especially once again if we're talking about fire season, because snow usually slows fire season at the start because the snow has to melt and thaw, and that can create a lot of water and precipitation in the mountains. But it does not look like that is going to be happening this year very well. At least we will definitely see some snow, but it will not happen as much as we've seen in the past couple of years. And you can see for the Blue Mountains, you can see just a lot of below average there, maybe a little bit of a mix between a below average and maybe getting into a little bit more of an average here for some of the Blue Mountains. But you can see most of Oregon just in that below red average. That is not a good look, and we will definitely have to be paying attention to this and seeing if this improves. Hopefully it does before fire season comes, or yeah, before fire season arrives. So right now we are taking a look at my analysis maps. Basically, this is what I expect for this month of January. As of January 5th, you can see this is currently taking a look at the precipitation maps, and you can see a lot of we've got the first shade of below average here, that I've gone ahead and issued for most of the I-5 corridor, and this does include the Cascades as well and some of central Oregon as well. And I've gone ahead and not included the Blue Mountains and Eastern Oregon because this area can oftentimes be a mixed zone. We can definitely just see some pop-up snow showers. It just depends on what happens, really, if there's any lows that try and form from Idaho and go down. So yeah, this area is going to be average for the time, or be about normal in the middle there. And then I've gone ahead and issued a second shade of below average precipitation. This includes mainly the Cascades and the I-5 corridor going up to Salem there. And this is for just below average precipitation. We don't really see much precipitation within the next couple of days or weeks. And if there is precipitation, it won't be that much. There is going to be some rain tonight. So yeah, let's try and get that in tonight. But yeah, other than that, it does not look very good for precipitation. Now let's go and move on to my temperature maps. All right, so this is taking a look at the temperature maps. So the first shade I've extended all the way out to central Oregon. This is above average temperatures, I expect. And this doesn't really count for minimal temperatures. I do feel like our low temperatures are going to be maintaining how they have been for the past several days. The cold temperatures, the warm days. I feel like we're going to have a large, above average area here where above average temperatures will be seen, probably even in some areas where it is not shaded here, but above average temperatures overall going to be seen in these areas. So we got Bend, Eugene, Corvallis, Oregon, Portland, or Salem, Portland, a lot of the coastal areas. And then if we go over the coast, speaking of the coast, we've got another shade added of just above average temperatures here. This does include the coastal areas because, as we saw on the EPS and GEFS, you can see a lot of ridging off the coast. And we saw that even pushing inland. So, yeah, I do believe a lot of these areas are going to experience above average temperatures. And I think a lot of spring like temperatures, maybe into the mid 50s. I'm not going to say 60s really, but I'm going to say mid 50s is definitely a very good possibility throughout the next couple weeks. All right, well, that has been your January weather forecast. I will be back if there is any new systems to talk about or any new storm chances that we may get. I am Odin A with Oregon Weather Watch. Have a great rest of your work week.